You're listening to the Treasure Coast Car Guys on WPSL Digital 1590 and WSTU Digital 1450. Phone lines are open for your questions and comments. And now, here's your host.
And you are in the studios with the Treasure Coast Car Guys, Gary Mariarossi from Treasure Coast Lexus. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Veronica.
Hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 2019.
Yeah.
Wow. How'd that happen? When did that happen?
It just keeps happening, too. Before you know it, it'll be 2020.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So hang on. Here we are. But good to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And you enjoy your holidays?
Wonderful. Very nice and quiet and
Yes.
stayed close to home.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
yeah. I kind of wanted to go on a little journey to find some snow. It's been a long time since I saw snow, and my husband went, no.
Yeah.
No. You know how far, he goes, well, you know how far you'd have to drive to find real snow? And then we don't have any coats.
No.
You
What do
know,
you do then?
You
Right?
get out of the car,
No
you look at the
gloves,
snow, and you go
boots.
back home.
Right. No.
So
No.
we didn't do that.
Good idea. Good idea. So I have a quick story to tell before we jump into 2019.
Okay.
The last week, it was right after, so New Year's Day was Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I saw Greg at the dealership on Wednesday,
Okay.
and he said, "Hey, because I'm a Magic fan. I lived
Okay.
in Orlando for over 20
Right.
years,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife and I used to go to games a lot when we lived there. So he said, "Hey,
Did you go see Shaq play when Shaq was in Orlando?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was great.
And then Dwight Howard, and then
Mm-hmm.
so we've seen some good teams.
Mhm.
We've seen some bad teams too, but we're fans, so
Right, yeah.
we take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
We like going to the game. So Greg says, "Hey, I've got 2 tickets," and I thought he said this weekend for the Magic. And I look at him and like, oh, they're playing the Boston Celtics too. My wife is from Massachusetts,
Okay.
so I'm like, oh, that's a
Mhm.
perfect game for us, right? So I'll call my wife, tell her we're excited. We're going to the Magic game this weekend. So our son lives in Orlando.
Mhm.
He's a teacher. He teaches high school in Orlando.
Yeah.
So we plan a weekend out of it.
Sure.
So Saturday, I book a hotel room, and we're going to make a nice weekend out of it, have a great time. We've been really busy through December to remember. So, my wife hasn't seen me basically for a
Right,
month.
right.
So we were going to have just a really nice time. So we drive Saturday afternoon to Orlando, a couple hours. We get there, check into our hotel, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And game starts at 7 o'clock. So we are right in the middle of downtown. So, we're a 5-minute Uber ride to the game.
Mm-hmm.
We get an Uber. We get there. I'm there 6:45. And we're walking up to the front entrance of the Amway Center. And crowded, of course, what you would expect. But I see a lot of folks wearing hockey jerseys. And I'm like,
This is weird.
I didn't know,
Yeah.
Magic fans were that big, that much in
Wow.
hockey. We don't have
Yeah.
a NHL team. We have a minor league team. And so I start to panic. And I'm like, oh, no. So I grab the tickets out of my pocket, and I look at them, and the game is for the following weekend.
Oh, no.
So we're standing
It
in
was a
front of the
trial
building.
run. It was just a trial run.
Pam, I'm sorry, but
Want to see a hockey game?
so which we did. I went to the
Okay.
I went to the box office and bought 2 tickets for the
Okay,
hockey
you're
game.
there, right?
Luckily, she likes hockey.
Okay.
And so we watched the Solar Bears play, and so, yes, so I'm an idiot. And
no.
yeah, so we have a basketball game this weekend.
Okay. Something to look forward to.
Happy New Year.
There you go.
So thank you, Greg, and I got 2 trips to Orlando out of it.
Yes.
So appreciate
Well,
that.
it's not that far.
Thankfully.
Yeah, it's not really that far.
Thankfully, we didn't, book plane tickets to get to
Yeah.
the game. We had to go somewhere far. And we got, and Sunday we hung out with our son, which we don't get to do that often anymore. So it was fun. But, come on.
Yeah, the craziest thing we did was we went one time to Walt Disney World, and 2 days later we went back. I mean, we came home,
Really?
and then we went back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must have had a good time.
Yeah. So,
Well, so that's my New Year's story for kicking off
yeah,
2019.
getting in a lot of sports.
Yes. Yes, we are. So, cars. So December to Remember was a success as always.
And I have to ask you, December to Remember, you're kicking out new cars, L certified. Now, do you have a large inventory of L certified cars going into the new year?
We
Does
do.
that create a bigger inventory for you?
We do, and probably I'm going to say almost double, what we normally have. So, and Lexus, of course, being the smartest car company on the planet, they know every year after December to Remember, because we sell a bunch of new cars, and we take in a bunch of beautiful trades. So every year following December to Remember, which is now November and December, January we roll out with a bunch of L certified incentives.
Okay.
And L certified sales. So if you're thinking of L certified, a great pre-owned Lexus, January is absolutely the time to do it.
And just to clarify, L certified is a great pre-owned Lexus.
Oh my gosh, we don't even call them pre-owned. Lexus categorizes their cars in three ways.
Okay.
We have new cars, new Lexuses, and we have used cars, like everyone. But we have a third category, and that is Lexus L certified.
Okay.
And it is that much different from everything else. It is technically a pre-owned car. It gets titled as a pre-owned car, of course, but it is so much more than your normal pre-owned car that anyone else has. So L certified, these are trades that we've taken in through December to Remember. We take the cream of the crop, great Carfaxes. The majority of these cars were originally purchased at our dealership, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, serviced at our dealership, and then traded back into our dealership. So we all the planets are lined up perfectly on the majority of these cars. Most of them are low miles because our guests tend to not put a lot of miles on their cars. So they are the cream of the crop, clean Carfaxes. I mean, if I'm looking for a car for, a good friend or a family member, that's what I'm looking for.
Sure.
So that's what an L certified car is. Once we've selected a car and said, yeah, we want to certify this car, it's going to be L certified, we then put it into the service department where it gets a 161-point inspection, which is laid out, and those parameters are set by Lexus. It's not a judgment call for us. For example, if the tires are less than 6/32, so if they're halfway worn, most people would say on a used car, well, that's fine.
Right.
I still got half the tire life. We can't certify the car if it's below 6/32. We have to put brand new tires on the car.
Okay.
So if the brakes are less than 60%, the brake pads, we have to replace them. Again, most used cars, that would be more than acceptable. But it can't be certified that way.
Most used cars, they're not even looking. First of all, they're not even checking these things.
Yes.
Okay.
It may have had the oil changed.
Okay.
We do whatever the next scheduled service is.
Right.
So if the car has 18,000 miles on it, we're doing the 20,000 mile service.
Okay.
Oil change, lube, filter, tire rotations. We do the alignment. Anything that is showing mechanical wear, we replace. We don't repair anything. We replace. If the battery, is less than 60%, it gets a new battery.
Sure, and you can go through a battery pretty quick here in Florida.
In Florida, unfortunately, that's true. So once it then goes through the 161-point inspection, we spend an average of $2,500 for every car we certify. So we're bringing that car, the concept from Lexus is we're bringing that car up to new car standards mechanically. That's it. That's what the certified program is all about. The L certified program is all about. So now we've selected the cream of the crop. We've reconditioned it like no one even thinks about doing. And because of all that, Lexus now, when we put it online for sale or put it on our lot for sale, Lexus will now back that vehicle up with an unlimited mileage Lexus factory warranty, just like a new car. Not just the
It's
powertrain.
actually an unbeatable warranty. I mean,
There's nothing like it.
yeah.
There's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just covering, the engine and transmission. It's a comprehensive warranty. The cooling system, the technology, all the things that we really are more concerned about than the engine and transmission. 99.9% of the time, we're not going to have a problem with our engine or our transmission.
I would think, especially when you get to the L certified, part of it, because someone's already driven it. If something bad was going to happen, something major was going to happen, it probably already would have.
And we would know about it.
Yeah.
And again, we would catch it in the 161-point inspection. Quite frankly, there are a handful of vehicles that, even though we've hand-selected them and picked the cream of the crop, there are a few that don't make it through the inspection.
Okay.
So even though it looks great to us, it still goes into the shop and goes through that inspection process. And if we can't bring that car up to new car standards mechanically, we cannot certify it. So
now, would you keep that car on your lot, or would you then wholesale that car?
normally we do not. No, we'll wholesale it.
Okay.
We are.
So I would have to assume then, if you would wholesale that Lexus that can't be L certified, what about the non-Lexus vehicles that people trade in? I mean, are you keeping the very best of those as well?
Only the cream of the
Yeah.
crop.
Okay.
Well, absolutely. Because we never, ever want to sell a pre-owned vehicle, whether it be L certified or a non-Lexus product. We never want to, have to apologize for anything that we sell. So we only sell the cream of the crop.
So you'd rather that your customers not get stuck on the side of the road?
100%.
Yeah.
Because we want customers for life. We're not just interested in that one sale.
Right.
And even if it's a $10,000 pre-owned car, it's going to be the best $10,000 pre-owned car you've ever had.
Okay.
So that's all we keep. But on the L certified side, once we've done all that, Lexus backs it all up because, again, they know we've picked the cream of the crop. They know what kind of inspection it went through because it's their inspection. And they know what we've done to the car. Only then will they let you market that car as L certified, and then they back it up with the strongest L certified warranty in the industry by far. So we get to have that warranty on the car, and the length of the warranty is 6 years from the original sale date. So if you take a 2016 RX, for example, that's L certified. It was sold in the middle of 2016. That warranty will be good now until the middle of 2022.
That's amazing.
So what's that, 3.5 years of unlimited miles. Not only does it cover comprehensively the vehicle, but you also get your first 4 scheduled services are complimentary. We pay for them. Which is great on a certified car because let's say you bought that car with 18,000 miles on it. Well, we did the 20,000 mile service.
Right.
So your next service would be the 25,000 mile service. That's free. Then you come in for the 30,000 mile service. That's a major service.
Okay.
So that's free. And then you get the 35,000 and then the 40,000. So that's all part of buying a certified vehicle. In addition, just like when you buy a new Lexus, you get roadside assistance, Lexus roadside assistance for that same period of time. So it's meant to really duplicate buying a new Lexus, but saving thousands of dollars. And Lexus, again, because everything they do is geared to a long-term relationship, their studies have shown over 30 years that many folks who will start out on a certified pre-owned Lexus, their next purchase will be a brand new one. And they'll stay with the brand long term. And that's Lexus's whole world revolves around that. It's a long-term relationship with the customer. Now, a lot of our guests just like buying L certified because they say, hey, somebody else paid the depreciation on that car. So I just think it's a better value. And they'll buy certified pre-owned after certified pre-owned after. Well, we're okay with that too because we still have a long-term relationship with that guest. And we're guaranteeing that relationship because, again, unlimited mileage warranty, factory warranty, that guest comes in 2 years after buying the car and says, hey, my navigation stopped working. Okay. And they're ready to fight. They're ready for a brawl.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they know it might be a bit pricey.
It'll be, yes,
Yeah.
very.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, they may have forgotten when they bought that car 2 years ago.
But it feels like they just bought it.
Yes. But they're still thinking, did that include the navigation or is that, they're not always 100%, versed in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll come in expecting, that we're going to give them an excuse or because that's been their experience elsewhere.
Right.
And when they come in and we say, oh, no, that's not a problem. That's you bought an L certified vehicle. We will take care of it.
And it's only when you have a problem that you find out how good your warranty really is.
Yes, indeed.
So
again, when, if that scenario takes place and you drive in and I say, well, we'll replace it. We have to order it. It's probably going to take, a few days to get here. But here's a loaner car while we're working on your car, while waiting for that part to come in. And no, there's no deductible. No, there's no arguing. No.
Just enjoy the loaner while we fix your car.
We're going to fix it. And again, we don't really fix anything. We replace.
Right.
So it's not like we're going to put a Band-Aid on it and you'll have a problem with it, 6 months from now. You're going to get a brand new navigation system at that point. So, and I use that as an example because we see the real value of the L Certified program is in the technology and all the electronics that are now on these vehicles. We're not really worried about the engine and transmission either, although they're really expensive.
Yeah,
and it's great to have.
It can happen, things can happen.
Right, because even our cars aren't perfect.
Right.
Close, but not perfect.
It's a man-made machine.
It is. So it's great to have that protected. But what is more worrisome for us and what has more potential to have an issue down the road are the electronics and all the technology. Quite simply, you come in, you do your scheduled maintenance, you do your oil changes when you're supposed to, you change your transmission fluid when you're supposed to. That engine and transmission is going to be great for you. But what is the maintenance that you can do on blind spot monitors or backup cameras?
Is there any type of maintenance? I mean, are those things checked? I mean,
they're checked.
You plug these cars into computers now, right? When they come in, you do diagnostics. Would it tell you that if any of the electronics are like, no, they're either working or not?
It's kind of like your laptop.
Yeah, it's either working or not.
Right. Because again, that's, that technology is very similar.
Sure.
It's all computer based. And it just goes. One day it just goes.
Okay.
And just imagine leaving your laptop, which is the kind of technology in the car. Imagine leaving it in your car 24/7 here in Florida. And it's 130 degrees in August inside your vehicle.
Sure.
So they're exposed to extreme conditions. So, and there's no maintenance you can do. It's not like, well, hey, I took really good care of it, like with my engine and my transmission, right?
Right.
What do? You just hope we built it really well, which we do.
I think so.
And it just functions, forever. That's our hope, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And it's not because anybody did anything wrong.
Right.
It's not because we did anything wrong when we built it. It's not because the guests did anything wrong while they owned it. It just sometimes happens. So that's where we really see the value in the L Certified warranty and having it for that long and no expiration date on miles, due to miles. Because if there's an issue with any of those things, it's expensive. So again, you come in and you tell me your navigation stopped working and I replace it for you with no hassles, no haggling, no deductible.
I would tell you I would be so relieved.
And
I mean, I have that story I had this beautiful set of front-loading washing machine and dryer. Great, beautiful, except for the motherboard went.
Oh.
Now, it's a washing machine. I'm thinking, motherboard, hello? It was so expensive to fix it. We carted it to the curb and And, I didn't go for that fancy front loader the next time around.
No.
So.
Well, we want people to enjoy the technology and enjoy all the safety features on the vehicle. We don't want them, not getting that stuff because they're worried about it might break down
Right.
one day.
Mm-hmm.
So we've covered that. And Lexus does a fabulous job. But that's really where I see the value in the L certified program and in that warranty. So, yeah, and if I replace that for you, 2 years down the road, look, you're my customer for life at that point. You're never going anywhere else because of that experience. And that is why we do it.
And having a great car is just like the icing on the cake.
Absolutely.
So
not to mention.
December to Remember's all wrapped up,
Right.
and you have...
So now we have our winter sales event,
Okay.
which has started and rolling. And again, a phenomenal selection of L certified vehicles and some great non-Lexus product that we've taken in on trade where, people decided that, hey, it's time to try a Lexus.
Yep.
So we take some of those great trades in. But for the L certified program, we have some great specials going on where on all RX models, including RX hybrids, and RX is by far our top selling vehicle. You see them everywhere, right? They're phenomenal. 2018, it was named the Insurance Institute named it the safest vehicle in America.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very proud of that. And it's always had a great safety record, but number one is can't get any better than that.
Now, have you always had the NX, or was it just the RX for a while, and then the NX is fairly
NX
new?
didn't come along until 2015.
Okay, so it is. I mean, I'm
that
seeing a
is
lot of
fairly
those
new.
too.
Yes, we are.
Mhm.
And that has filled a great niche
Okay.
for us. But on the RX and the NX, which the NX has now become our second best-selling vehicle,
Okay,
everybody wants to drive SUVs now.
sure.
So we've responded to that. And
They're cooler station wagons.
or minivans, right? They're much cooler
Much
than
cooler
a minivan.
than a minivan. Sorry, people with minivans.
Yes.
Sorry.
And unfortunately, we don't make one, so we can't help there. But on the SUVs, the RX and the NX, on NX hybrids, RX hybrids, gas-powered NXs, gas-powered RXs, any NX or RX model, we have 1.9% APR up to 60 months, which is, as everyone knows, in 18 we had 4 rate increases, from the Fed, and interest rates have gone up substantially.
Now you have great car and cheap money.
Yes. And you can lock that in for 60 months. So even if the Fed decides to raise it again, like they've kind of hinted at, you're locked in. It's not an adjustable
an
rate
arm.
loan.
Not on a car. They don't do that, do they?
I'm
I hope
waiting for
not.
somebody to do it.
Oh, no.
It's coming. Somebody will come up with that. But Lexus doesn't do that. So these are fixed rates. You're locked in for 60 months. And that's a great rate. Use our money.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get that money for 1.9.
No.
Obviously, that's incentivized from Lexus.
Okay.
And so that is a great program. We also have, for the first time in forever, the ability to offer great leases on L certified cars.
That's amazing too.
Yes, it is. And it is a great option. A lot of folks who buy L certified use their cars for business.
Mm-hmm.
Realtors, salespeople, so they love the L certified because they're driving 20, 30,000 miles
Right.
a year.
Mm-hmm.
And that unlimited mileage warranty is a godsend for them. So, and a lot of them, ask me, can I lease an L certified car? Because they tell me that, if they're using it for business, there are some real serious tax advantages for them leasing the car and using it for business. So
Okay.
we finally have that combination and that option available for people. You can even do our very popular one-pay lease, for folks that don't want any payments. And the one-pay, of course, we've talked about before on the new car side, has been very popular because you basically make 2 payments on that car instead of 1. And you pay about half of it at time of purchase.
Right. I was thinking, well, if we're going to pay 1 payment, then what's the difference between buying? But it's considerably less.
Well, you pay about half of it up front and about half of it, at the end of the lease.
Okay.
In the residual. So you make 2 payments instead of 1 payment. Our one-pay leases, we call them 2-pay purchases.
Okay.
Because most of the guests who do it, their intention is to buy the car. But they say, you know what, I'm just going to write a check for the car. So, if you're on a $40,000 vehicle, you add in taxes and tags and everything, you're writing a check for $45,000. On a one-pay lease, on a pre-owned, if that's a pre-owned car, you'll pay about half of that up front. So write me a check for $23,000.
Right.
And then pay the rest of it at the end of the lease. So that's a very attractive option on new cars. Many people take advantage of it because, well, I don't know. If I had a choice of writing a $45,000 check versus writing a $23,000 check,
Sure.
I'd probably opt for the smaller amount.
Right.
And then pay the rest later, in 2 or 3 years, depending on how long the lease is that you do. So it's a really, really nice option that we haven't been able to take advantage of on the L certified side, but we now have that.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
those are all parts of the special. So whether you want to finance it and get a super low interest rate, or you're the person that doesn't want monthly payments and just wants to write a check, we have something for everybody. And then, of course, you're getting a phenomenal L certified vehicle
Right.
at a great price. And right now, the selection has never, ever been better. And we have everything from 2016 CT200s, with our nice hybrid hatchback, which we don't make anymore. We've replaced that with the UX on the new car side.
Okay.
But you can still get a certified pre-owned one. Great vehicle. I drive one. And, I'm 6'3", and, people say, you drive a CT?
Okay.
How do you fit? I fit in it just fine.
Yeah.
I'm actually on my second one.
Okay.
So this is the second CT I've had.
No legroom problem.
Not for me.
Okay.
No. Now, I will tell you that no one's going to sit behind me.
Right.
So basically, it's a 3-passenger car for me. But plenty of room. The hatchback is great. Trips to Home Depot and
Sure.
Grocery shopping. It for me, it's a perfect vehicle, and because I just drive locally, I like getting 42, 43 miles to a gallon. Quite frankly, so I enjoy that.
Yeah.
We have CTs. We have a couple ISs. We've got 8 or 10 ESs. That's our fantastic midsize sedan. We have actually 3 GSs in stock, which is the sports sedan, rear-wheel drive, a little more oomph to it.
Yeah.
Great car, fun car. We've got our best selection of RXs we've had, in over a year. And again, that's our best seller. We even have an RC, our little 2-door sports car. Great car, fun car. So 3 LSs, our luxury sedan, beautiful vehicle. So at a great savings off, versus a new one.
And that L certified warranty.
All of these have the L certified warranty. Have a nice GX, which is our bigger SUV, 3 rows, V8, great for towing, and plenty of power, plenty of room. That's very popular. We don't see a lot of GXs come back on trade. People keep them.
Well, they fit the bill.
They don't
For whatever
trade
it
them in.
is that family needs, that vehicle just probably suits them perfectly.
It really does.
Yeah.
So we don't see a lot of them come back. So they must really enjoy them. But we have one now. We've got 3 RX hybrids, which is unusual. Normally we'll have maybe 1, sometimes none. So if hybrid's your thing, we have 3 of those as well. In addition to that, talked a little bit about some of the other makes and models we've taken in on trade. And we've got a beautiful selection and all at super prices. We price all of our cars to market.
Okay.
And what we mean by that is, with the advent of the internet, I've been doing this a lot longer than I'll admit on the radio. But, you go back to, when I started, there was no internet. There was no information out there.
And no one really had any access to Kelley Blue Book.
None.
No.
Or
Just the
Black Book,
dealer.
or just the dealer, or NADA, or So people would visit 5-6 dealerships, to kind of compare and see,
Right.
Am I getting a good deal? And it was a lot of work. The studies today show that the average used car buyer visits 1.3 dealerships before making a purchase.
What's the fun of that?
They do it all online now.
No, there's no fun.
They love
there.
it. They're in
Yeah, I
their
love
pajamas.
walking-
They're,
Yeah,
having
I like
a cup
to
of
walk
coffee.
the lot on Sunday when they're closed.
We're open on Sunday. You can't do that.
No, I can't.
So they go online now and do it. So the advent of the internet, and I hear dealers all the time complain, the internet has ruined my business.
No, you just have to do
Everybody
things a little
knows-
different now, right?
Everybody knows, my costs and this. And we're like, it's made life so much easier. We embrace the technology. We embrace that information because we've always been full disclosure, complete transparency, even before the internet. So now that the internet and everybody's on it, we know that. So when we put a car online, well, we know that we're not in a vacuum. We're not in a bubble. People can shop us against other dealers
Right.
and pull up all the information and book values. And so we embrace that. And so what we do, we price our cars to market. We look at it the same way a shopper would look at it. And we go online and we look at all the other cars that are out there.
Now, how far do you look? Do you go like Indian River County,
250
Palm Beach?
miles.
Wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
we feel like, and what the studies show is that people will drive. They really say about 150 miles is what the majority of people will drive to get a better deal.
I've bought cars in Belglade and in Arcadia.
Yes. So
Yeah, that
you've done it.
that was an afternoon drive.
You're
came home
part
with
of
a new
that
car.
study. You're one of those people.
Yes.
So, and I have people who come to my dealership all the time from Jacksonville, from Tampa, from Naples, from South Florida, Miami. So we see it. We live it. So
I would think especially with an L certified vehicle because not every dealership then would have the same inventory. So if
Correct.
you're looking for a specific car, you would be searching the internet and the drive would be no problem if you find the car you want.
Exactly. So the Lexus dealers tend to be more spread out. There are only 250 of them in the country.
Wow.
So that's why my parameters are 250 miles. I feel that is more in line with our clientele. I think they'll drive that, to
Sure.
get a great deal. So that's the search that we do. And what I do, I use cars.com really as much as anything. And because they will show me everything. They'll show me private party sellers. They'll show me non-Lexus dealers. They'll show me Lexus dealers. They'll show me certified, non-certified. And if I just punch in 2016 RX, with navigation and search 250 miles, every RX for
Right.
250 miles will pop up. And then I can look at what's going on in the market. And I can look at what the prices are. And if it's a certified car, I punch in L certified. And there might be 10 of them in a 250-mile radius.
Okay.
And then I start looking at equipment. And then I start looking at, okay, well, the ones with navigation sell for this. The ones without navigation sell for this. And I can get a real good idea of what is out there and what my guest is looking at. Because my guest is looking at the same exact
Right.
thing. So I'm in the shopper's seat now. And I'm pretending that I'm trying to buy a car. And so then that's how I establish my price, because I know what the true market value is. I can look at Kelley Blue Book, I can look at Edmunds, and they'll tell me what they think the car, should sell for. A lot of times that's higher than what's really going on in the marketplace. So, and quite frankly, if our guest goes online and sees an L certified car 250 miles away and it's $2,000 less than maybe the Kelley Blue Book is, well, they don't care what Kelley Blue Book says. All they care
Yeah.
about is I can go to that dealer.
Yeah,
and
they're
get
going to
that
take a
car for
drive.
them.
Yeah.
So that's more relevant, when you're searching. So that's how we price our cars. We do all that research first. Now I still look at Kelley Blue Book. I look at NADA. I look at it all. I look at Black Book, but more importantly, I look at what's going on in the market, because that's what my guest is looking at.
Sure.
And then I price the car. So when we say in every internet ad that's on our website, the same closing statement is there after every ad. we price our cars to market. We price our cars aggressively to market to give you a haggle-free, hassle-free buying experience. And those aren't just words for us. That is literally what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changed a lot, because in the past, you go back 15 years ago, sure, we'd say, well, we own the car for this. It didn't matter that we paid too much for it, right? That's what we own it for. We'd mark it up $5,000 and say, okay, there's the sale price. Guests would come in and they would haggle and they'd get $2,000 in discounts after an hour. And then I got a great deal, right? I got a $2,000 discount. Well, the car was still marked up $3,000,
right?
Mm-hmm. That's the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now you come in and it's completely different. There are no more $2,000 discounts because all the information that's out there, if you're not priced correctly, that guest is never coming to your store.
Right.
You're not going to have the opportunity to negotiate with them because they've already gone somewhere else. So the car has to be priced right, priced to market, aggressively, competitively, and then you have a great vehicle at a great price, and now people come in, and that's why they only visit 1.3 dealers. The reason it's 1.3 and not 1 is because sometimes they'll get to the dealership. They called yesterday, yeah, come on in, great. They come in 24 hours later and the car got sold. Sometimes that happens.
Now, does the same pricing apply to like the trade?
Yes.
You so you
Because
look at what the market is doing with that
Absolutely.
vehicle.
And I show it to people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a lot of folks are like, they try to make up that profit by giving people, less money for their trade than it's really worth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't get away with that anymore either. And especially with Lexus customers. I mean, these people are pretty smart people.
Sure.
Very successful for,
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to trick them.
Yeah, it's luxury market.
Why even try?
Yeah.
It just insults their intelligence and makes them mad and they go somewhere else.
And they've bought cars before.
A few. Yeah, they bought a couple of cars
Yeah.
before. So respect that, and we do. So, yeah, when I appraise a car, I show them everything that I'm looking at. I'm like, here's the black book, which is basically what the dealer's appraisal tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's Kelly Blue Book, which is more the consumer side. So that's a nice balance. We look at both. And then I also show them NADA because that's how the banks value cars. Every dealer, if you're going to get a loan on a car, has to send the bank the NADA book value. So I think those are three good representations of what that car is worth because they're never exactly the same. But if you look at all three, you can get a good idea, of what a vehicle
Right, and you're
should be
talking
worth.
real money, yeah.
Right.
That way you're talking about, right.
And then ultimately, at the end of the day, appraisals are subjective, because I'm the one writing the check. So my opinion counts on an appraisal.
Sure.
But there's some logic that goes into it, too. There's some data that goes into it as well. It's not just my opinion. I think in the past, talking to guests, it's, the appraisal process has been a mystery. It's the Wizard of Oz. It's the guy behind the curtain, that is doing this, that mystery guy that we never meet. When I do an appraisal, I go out and say hi to the guest, tell them I'm appraising your car. I'm going to go out and take some pictures.
Yeah, well, years ago you handed the keys over and the car went somewhere.
And you never saw the keys again either, right?
And then, the guy comes back with the paperwork going, well, here's the price. Well, where's my car? So
And where are my keys?
yeah.
So we go out and I introduce myself. I'm going to go appraise your car. I'm going to take some pictures. I tell them what I'm doing.
Isn't it as simple now, too, as scanning the barcode in the door?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that tell you a lot about the vehicle?
Sure it does.
And then
because
you have to see if it's in good condition.
But I still do a physical appraisal.
Right, because it could be trashed.
Well, not even so much trashed, but it could need tires, which we
Brings
which
the
we don't
value
know
down,
that by the
yeah.
VIN code.
Mm-hmm.
We determine just does it need any cosmetic work? Does it have some dings and dents? Some wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing will replace a physical appraisal.
Right.
But yes, we scan the barcode now, so it is simpler.
But that tells you what kind of car it is and how it's equipped.
Yes,
Okay.
and it also tells you from there it'll put up the Carfax history, so it'll tell us
Okay.
where was it purchased, how many service records do we have,
Okay.
Was it maintained well? Any accidents, any incidents? So a lot of information can be gathered through that process. But more importantly, it's communicating with the guest. And I tell them, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out, take some pictures, scan the VIN. It will tell me. Then I'm going to come inside, look up the book values. I'm going to share all that with you. And then I'm going to tell you what I think your car is actually worth. And so, they're like, wow, okay. So that's how it works? Yes, that's how it works. So it gives them a lot more confidence in, and again, they can go online, but I'm doing all of it for them. And then I show them, here, I print it out. Here's Kelley Blue Book, here's the Black Book, here's NADA. You're looking at the same thing. Actually, ours is a lot more detailed because we pay money
for the program
to pull those, and we pay more money.
Well, because you have to use it multiple times every day.
Well, and we want more detailed information than the average person. So when we pull it, it's VIN specific. It actually pulls up their exact car, rather than like Kelley Blue Book. When you put in 16RX with navigation, what it's pulling up is every 16RX over the past 60 days. That's a big cross section, and that average could work to your advantage or work against you. So ours is VIN specific. It lists all the equipment that's on the car and gives you a real, I think, a much more accurate value. So, and again, we share that with the guests. So we're not trying to trick anybody. We're not, here's what I think your car is worth, and here, more importantly, here's why I think it's worth that.
Right.
So that whole process has changed due to the internet as well. So when we say we price our cars to market, that's not just a catchphrase or a tagline. That is what we do. So we've done all that research for you. Now you're still, of course, welcome to go and do it on your own and check us, but you're going to find that, oh yeah, there it is. And so people, that maybe haven't bought cars in a while, they'll still come in and go, want to haggle, and they'll go, I want that same $3,000 discount I got 10 years ago.
It's already in there.
We've already done that. So, and it's kind of, it's what guests are telling us. It's kind of the CarMax
because
model.
They're probably still thinking that the prices are hiked up so that there's room to negotiate.
Right. And, but guests, if you go to the CarMax model, they're one price. There it is, right? And it's not always the best price. A lot of times our prices are better. But they're all about no haggling, no hassling. There it is in big, bold, as big as Dallas. No hidden. There it is, right? And guests have responded to that.
Now, their big thing is they'll buy your car even if you don't buy theirs. Can you do that anywhere or just there?
Not anywhere, but we buy people's cars all the time as well. Because, especially if it's a nice car.
Right.
We love having great inventory. So we do that as well. But we want here's what we've learned. If you look at, like I said, if you look at that model of used cars, no haggle, no hassle, that's what people want. All the studies being done tell us that that's what they want. And put your price out there, like when I go to the grocery store.
Exactly.
I know what the gallon of milk costs me.
It used to be not like buying a shirt off the rack, is it? Buying a car, but it should be.
That's what they want. So we've evolved and we've embraced it. And when we talk to our guests, which we do a lot, and our owner, it comes through the showroom, and he stops and talks to everybody. And guests love talking to him, and believe me, they will tell him what they think, especially when they find out who he is. And over the years, here's the overwhelming feedback. I love Lexus. I love the product. I love your dealership. I love your staff. I love. Not like, love. I love free pickup and delivery. I love free car washes. I love the cafe with the great snacks and
the cappuccino's
and
good.
the fresh brewed coffee. I love it all. Here's the thing I hate. I hate when we get down to the price, the going back and forth 3 and 4 times, let me go check with my manager. I hate it. I dread it. It's the only thing we don't like. So the mandate from our owner is simple. Do not do that to our guests.
Yeah, well, if you can come to the number, why not just come to the number?
Right?
Because that is true.
That's the number.
That is true.
So we can start at a much higher number and take an hour beating each other's brains in, and we'll wind up at this number right here. So why not just start at that number? Why not just start at the right number?
Yeah.
And don't play games on my trade. That's what it's really worth. And the response has been extremely positive, especially when they compare us to other stores that they have visited. So that really comes from the top. And the feedback from our guests, the one thing that they really just did not like. So again, back to we price our cars to market. That's what that all means. And that's what we do.
I've gone into dealerships and said, I don't want to be here. I know what I want. I've already looked at it. I know, where I need to be here. I don't want to be here all day. I mean, right up front,
Yes.
not nice
You don't
to
have
meet
to wear
you
me
and all
out,
that. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
break me down.
Yeah.
Because
I don't want to leave here, needing to eat really bad because I've been here all day. So, and that's happened too. Kids are hungry. Never take the kids when you go to buy a car.
No.
Because
but that was the philosophy years ago.
Yeah.
Which is why,
Yes.
the auto industry had a well-deserved reputation of not taking very good care of their guests, abusing them. So we have changed that. We flipped that completely upside down. And if you go online and read our reviews, and please do, before you decide where you're going to go buy a car, go online and please read our reviews and what our guests say about it. And overwhelmingly, best car buying experience I've ever had. And you're right, our guests have bought a few cars
Sure.
before.
Yeah.
Best car buying experience. Everybody so friendly. Best atmosphere. No pressure. Love the experience. I mean, it's just review after review after review after review. And that is what we do. So come on in. It is time to get a certified pre-owned vehicle. We also we talked a little bit about, other brands. I mean, I've got a 2017 Honda Ridgeline. I've got a beautiful Ford Edge all-wheel drive. I've got a 17 Fiat Spider. I've got a BMW 5 Series. I mean, so don't just think that we're only Lexus.
I mean, when was the last time you saw a Fiat Spider?
I don't want to age myself. I'm not going to say. We've got a beautiful 17 Toyota Prius premium package, appearance package. We've got a Porsche Cayenne. So we've got whatever you want.
And we're
Just come
out
on
of
in.
time, Gary.
Well, it goes fast. Good to see you.
You're listening to WPSL Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart. Treasure Coast Car Guys back next Tuesday.